This is ABC 7 News at 6.
The jury selection process has begun for the murder trial of a Madison man accused of killing his former roommate. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Devin Dagnall. 62-year-old Roland Flood is charged with murder for the death of 57-year-old Mark Trabue of Anson. Trabue was found dead with multiple stab wounds in Madison Cemetery back in July of last year. Today's jury questionnaire process is the first step in the jury selection process. Opening statements are expected to begin at Somerset County Superior Court on Wednesday morning. In other news, according to the Maine Forest Service, consistently dry and windy conditions across Maine have brought increased risks for wildfires. Our Augusta reporter Corey Bouchard spoke with a forest ranger to learn more and what to know in order to help prevent those forest fires.
This year we've seen about 400 wildfires. Then they've burned about 200 acres.
Timothy Chelman is a forest ranger with the Maine Forest Service. He says the perfect conditions for fire weather, or weather that increases the risk of wildfires by making it easier for them to ignite and spread, has been building for a while now. And as of Monday, 10 of Maine's 12 districts on the wildfire danger report were listed at high risk, with 2 districts in southern Maine being at very high risk.
The big thing is the dryness right now. People don't think as much about wildfire when the temperatures are so low because it feels cold. But the lack of rain that we've had and the wind that has been drying out the fuels, if you go out in the field, you're feeling the leaves, you notice just how dry and crunchy they are.
Chelman says many wildfires are accidental, usually caused by people not paying attention to their fire or not being aware of severe conditions.
For the average citizen, what I want you to do is make sure that you are being extra careful with anything that might cause a wildfire. If you are looking to do some burning of brush piles or anything like that, I would recommend, and we would definitely suggest, to postpone that until fire conditions are a little bit better.
But it's not just burning that can cause wildfires. Cars, ATVs, and even lawnmowers all have the potential of accidental ignition.
We also had one recently for equipment use. So someone was mowing their lawn and it caught some rocks that caused sparks, and next thing you know, the field caught on fire.
Chelman says if you're planning to burn, you should always check mainfireweather.org, and when in doubt, contact your local fire department. In Augusta, I'm Corey Bouchard for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Mainers without health or dental insurance can apply for coverage through the state's insurance marketplace starting Friday. Open enrollment for coverme.gov runs from November 1st through January 15th. You must enroll by December 15th for coverage to start January 1st. This is the only time of year you can enroll in coverage through coverme.gov unless you qualify for special enrollment because of a qualifying event, such as losing insurance, having a baby, or a change in marital status. Maine residents without access to dental or health insurance through their employer, MaineCare, or Medicare are encouraged to apply. Well, a coalition of organizations gathered in Bangor today to introduce the Maine Energy Choice campaign. The coalition has already reached out to all of the candidates running for the Maine State Legislature and U.S. Congress, urging them to support Maine residents in their choices to heat their homes and businesses.
Over the course of this campaign, we have asked candidates for the Maine Legislature and the United States Congress to sign an Energy Choice Pledge, which simply says that they will oppose any efforts to restrict Mainers' abilities to choose how they heat their homes, their businesses, or what kind of vehicles that they drive.
In a recent digital research poll, it was found 8 out of 10 voters believe the state government should allow Mainers to choose how they heat their homes. In other news, Maine is getting nearly $133 million for bridge replacements in Penobscot and Kennebec counties. An announcement set out by Senator Susan Collins today said the funding will assist in the rehabilitation or replacement of 6 bridges on Interstate 395 between Bangor and Brewer. It will also help the replacement of 6 aging overpasses on I-95 near Augusta. The funding is coming from the U.S. Department of Transportation Bridge Investment Program. In the announcement, Senator Collins said, quote, "This funding will make our roadways safer and more resilient by addressing bridges that are crucial to Maine's infrastructure. Upgrading these routes will ensure that vital corridors remain accessible for residents, businesses, and commercial transport alike." Well, drivers in Augusta will see major delays with a bridge replacement project that began today. According to Devin Eaton, the project manager for the Maine Department of Transportation, the closures are part of a construction project to replace the 70-year-old bridge on Western Avenue that connects to Interstate 95. This first part of the closure closed the eastbound on-ramp.
It's about 70 years old, coming to the end of its service life, gets a lot of traffic above and below it. So we're looking to stay ahead of this project so it doesn't become an issue where it can't handle the traffic loadings that go through here.
Eaton adds that following this closure, the southbound exit 109B ramp will be closed on November 18th. He says the closures are only temporary as the contractors put in a temporary bridge. Eaton expects the new permanent bridge will be finished by fall of 2025. Well, depending on where you were today, some of you felt the real signs of winter coming. That's good news for some of us that enjoy the snow. Special thanks to our friends at Sugarloaf for sharing their Bullwinkle's webcam with us. They tell us that crews started this last weekend with the snow making, and it sure looks like it's sticking around. Great news for the skiers and snowboarders out there. All right, well, let's turn things over to Chase Ropanek with a first look at our forecast.
Thank you, Devin. Our first weather today is brought to you by Old Town Redemption Center. Old Town Redemption offering a 10% bonus on your returnables and a monthly $100 drawing. All right, taking a look out at the radar right now. Looks like we got just a few clouds in the northern portion of the state for today. Sunny skies here in town. It does look like there's some cloud cover over the Great Lakes region that will be moving into our area within the next few days, bringing some good rain chances as well. But for highs today, it was pretty cool out there. We saw mid to upper 40s for highs, showing 47 degrees here in town, 46 by Bar Harbor and Rockland as well. A little bit closer to 50 degrees, but not quite in areas in the southwestern portion of the state. And then it was actually colder up north near areas like Clayton Lake and Presque Isle in those low 40s for today. And the reason why we got those northwest winds bringing that cool air into the area, we can see 12 miles per hour here in town, same in Millinocket as well. Winds are a little bit stronger up north, and we can see that all across the state today, right around that 5 to 15 mile per hour range for wind speeds out there from the northwest. Taking a look overnight tonight, a few clouds, mostly clear skies, bringing those lows down to the low 20s for tonight. Devin?
Thanks, Chase. Coming up on ABC 7 News at 6, our Doug Banks got the chance to speak with the director of the Margaret Chase Library in Skowhegan, and our Grace Blanchard spoke with Ellsworth business owners about the proposed seasonal parking kiosks downtown. Those stories and much more as ABC 7 News at 6 continues.
At the end of this long campaign, I want to leave you with a couple of thoughts. One is that in spite of the partisanship, progress is possible. The second is there's plenty left to do. Here's some progress: negotiating lower drug prices, historic new programs for veterans, and bringing manufacturing back to America. But reproductive rights, housing, the high cost of living, and fighting for democracy are still on the agenda. I'm Angus King, and I approve this message because with your help, I'm ready to get back after it.
For 50 years, I've paid into Social Security and Medicare.
You earned it. You paid it in every week.
Austin Terrio skipped work in the State House.
But he still took his paycheck from taxpayers.
Now, Austin Terrio wants to go to Congress.
Joining politicians who would
cut the Social Security and Medicare benefits that we earned.
Which is kind of scary.
It's going to hurt a lot of people in Maine.
I think it's criminal.
Highway robbery.
No show, Terrio.
Will never work for Maine.
HMP is responsible for the content of this ad.
Let your creativity run free at the Creative Arts Center, where we offer fun and affordable activities for all ages. Birthday parties, pottery wheel classes, painting lessons, or just for the fun of it. Get fired up for glazing projects as well as acrylics. We offer a wide selection of ceramic products for you to choose from, and we have thousands of pieces ready to paint. We are a Paragon kiln dealer and a Laguna Clay distributor. Stop by the Creative Arts Center today, located just off the Joshua Chamberlain Bridge in Brewer. The Creative Arts Center, where your only limitation is your imagination.
He used to be good. He pretended to be good on our Second Amendment.
We have homeless veterans on the street, and Jared Golden wants to make sure our immigrants have free housing.
We're supposed to get 150 new migrants in Bangor.
Jared Golden voted to give illegal immigrants welfare, and he voted to let them use welfare benefits on liquor and bail. Mainers are getting screwed.
Jared Golden is good at saying one thing and doing something else. He's expert at it.
Congressional Leadership Fund is responsible for the content of this advertising.
You're watching ABC 7 Bangor.
Welcome Welcome back. The city of Ellsworth is considering a proposal to add seasonal parking kiosks to downtown. This has stirred up a lot of opinions from both locals and business owners who have gone years without paying to park. Our Grace Blanchard has the details.
Because there are times, especially in the summer, when we have so many visitors here that parking is hard to find parking.
Free parking could be going away in downtown Ellsworth, at least for part of the year. In their latest Finance Committee meeting, the city manager and deputy police chief presented a proposal that would implement paid parking from May to October 31st. Their projections say it would produce over $1 million in revenue per year.
Any funds generated would be reinvested back into the downtown areas.
The city has been without meters since the 1960s, something many local businesses and residents hope doesn't change.
Are they going to pull in quickly and have to go find the meter? Right? Go figure it out. Or are they just going to go, and keep going?
Some are worried about becoming too much like other tourist areas.
I feel like paid parking may be a great thing for Bar Harbor and other communities, but it's not right for here.
That uniqueness may go away when you kind of start to add things like parking meters. It kind of has a different feel to it.
Others think this could be a good thing depending on where the revenue goes.
I do believe that the money generated, as long as it's spent on downtown, could really be a boon for the town.
Both the city manager and deputy chief were unavailable for further comment. The communications director offered this statement and says they hope to include all business owners in upcoming discussions. In Ellsworth, Grace Blanchard, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Well, today is the 50th anniversary of the Community Development Block Grant, and to mark the event, the City of Belfast hosted a celebration this afternoon. Department of Economic and Community Development Commissioner Heather Johnson says Belfast was the perfect location.
Belfast has really seen kind of a revitalization, and they had a plan for what they wanted to see, and we're able to use this as a tool to help, again, facilitate some of their work.
We really want Belfast to be an even better community than it already is, and we have needs to improve our infrastructure, support our businesses, help foster the development of housing, and the CDBG program has been really a very important funding source for that.
Commissioner Johnson says in the 50 years since it began, community development block grants have provided more than $603 million for projects in communities across the state. Well, still to come on ABC 7 News at 6, our Jody Hersey caught up with an Appleton resident to showcase his unusual artworks. And in sports, Maine football has a huge test ahead of them on Saturday, hitting the road to take on the SEC Oklahoma Sooners. That story is right after the break.
He used to be good. He pretended to be good on our Second Amendment.
We have homeless veterans on the street, and Jared Golden wants to make sure our immigrants have free housing.
We're supposed to get 150 new migrants in Bangor.
Jared Golden voted to give illegal immigrants welfare, and he voted to let them use welfare benefits on liquor and bail. Mainers are getting screwed.
Jared Golden is good at saying one thing and doing something else. He's expert at it.
Congressional Leadership Fund is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Did you know that 50% of the air you breathe in your home is air that comes from Hafford Basement Systems? All things basementy. A wet, damp basement is a real problem. It can damage your valuables, worsen asthma and allergies, and affect indoor air quality. We'll transform your basement into a dry, usable space and improve the health of your entire home. Call TC Hafford Basement Systems for all things basementy.
Planet Oats so creamy and not watery like.
Exactly, and unsweetened, has 0 grams of sugar.
And don't forget, it's an excellent source of calcium. Wow, Planet Oat really has it all. You guys are so right. No, you are. No, you are. No, you are. Yeah, you are.
I'm Jared Golden, and I approve this message.
I think Austin-Ontario can be very dangerous.
He most definitely would join the extremists in Congress.
Austin-Ontario is on the same side as the extremists who want to have a national abortion ban. The extremists that don't allow women to have choice.
And these extremists, they're going to try to control women.
It's wrong.
I think you're going to see women die.
I just don't want that for my
grandchildren.
Austin Terrio, he's not going to stand up for my rights in Congress.
Tonight's Sports is brought to you by Hamlin's Marine, located in Hamden and Waterville, celebrating 40 years serving all of eastern and central Maine.
What a win it was. Welcome back in, everyone. Thank you for staying with us, and happy Victory Monday. Just the second of the season for Patriots fans. New England yesterday taking down Aaron Rodgers and the Jets in thrilling fashion. Things looked a little shaky for New England, leading 7-6 in the first half. Drake May scrambled for a big gain and a first down, but he took this hit right here to the side of the helmet, and he was ruled out for the rest of the contest. So in came Jacoby Brissett. Brissett, who struggled the first 5 games of the year, leading New England to 2 touchdown drives, including this one with under 2 minutes to go in the fourth quarter of the game to take down the rival Jets. Both he and Gerard Mayo saying it took a lot of resiliency as a team and individually.
I've ever really questioned the resilience of this team, and I'm not going to go back to those comments. What I will say is we have a room full of guys with the mentality that, you got to change the page every day. Every day is a new day, and we have to get better and understand that practice is the most important thing we do until we get to the game. So
I think this is a testament to me believing in myself and not y'all. It was, it was sweet. I mean, you can't put it into words, but, I'm not trying to be arrogant or nothing, but I'm very proud of myself today.
A big win for them. Staying with some football, it's a big week coming up for the Maine Black Bears. Maine falling on the road to number 15 Rhode Island 24-14 on Saturday, but the game was tied at 14 in the fourth quarter. The Black Bears now back to 500 on the season, falling to 4-4, and they look ahead to a historic matchup, heading to Oklahoma to take on the Sooners in an SEC clash. For Oklahoma standards, it's a disappointing year for them, but it's still going to be a great challenge for Maine and one that they're approaching with open arms.
We're going to go compete. That's one of our values as a team. And that's our mindset is got to have a great week of practice. And then, got to do a great job in how we conduct ourselves throughout the week, taking care of our bodies, and then go down there and just, let it rip and play football and compete, and, an opportunity to compete in one of the best conferences in the country.
All right, they just have to let it rip. That game kicks off at 2:30 from Norman, and you can watch it on the SEC Network. Staying with the Black Bears, moving on to hockey now. Good weekend for Maine hockey, but despite not losing, they fall in the national polls. Maine moves down just 1 spot in the polls to 7th in the nation, according to U.S. College Hockey Online. The Black Bears got the monkey off their back. They won their first game in Matthews Arena in 14 tries, taking down Northeastern 4-1 on Friday on the road. They skated to a tie on Saturday before winning the conference point in a shootout later on. Now at 4-0-1 on the season, they are back in action Friday at Boston College. And finally, for all of the general sports fans out there, it is a good night to get familiar with the couch, a night that doesn't happen all too often, only at this time of the year, though. It's the sports equinox. All 4 major American sports are in action. Monday Night Football right here on ABC. The World Series Game 3 is on our sister station on Fox. 11 NBA games are on, including the Celtics at 7:30, and then 8 NHL games are in action as well. That all starts at 7. Exciting stuff right there. That is all the time we have for sports. Here's Chase Ropenack with your full 5-day forecast.
Thank you, Tyler. Our Maine weather today is brought to you by Old Town Redemption Center. Old Town Redemption offering a 10% bonus on your returnables and a monthly $100 drawing. All right, taking a look out at those highs today. Pretty cool out there with highs only in the mid to upper 40s here in town, showing 47 degrees here in Bangor, closer to mid 40s here in Bar Harbor and Rockland. Areas getting close to 50 degrees, but not quite in the southwestern portion of the state for today. And then up north is where those cooler temperatures are at in the low 40s for areas like Clayton Lake and Presque Isle. As we take a look into tonight, it's going to be chilly with those cool temperatures, showing mid 20s here in town, but with clear skies and calm winds. We're going to be right around 20 degrees for tonight. Many areas like Millinocket and Monson right around those low 20s as well. Maybe some areas closer to the mid 20s near Wesley and by the coast near Deer Isle, showing those low to mid 30s for them, but they're going to drop into the 20s most likely as well. Temperatures maybe getting down into the teens for tonight in the northern portion of the state. Going into tomorrow, cooler temperatures once again, especially up north where we'll see those low to mid 40s, but here in town we're going to be getting close to those low 50s for tomorrow with lots of sun early on in the day. We will have some cloud cover, though, coming by those afternoon to evening hours that may hinder us from hitting that 50-degree mark, but we could see a warm-up is definitely in store for us. We're going to be back into those 70s once again, well above average temperatures for Thursday, but they're not going to last very long. Going into Friday, mid-60s and back near average for Saturday, Sunday, and Monday with some rain back in the forecast. We will have back into those average temperatures going into the weekend and the beginning of our work week next week. All right, wind speeds right now, northwest winds around 12 miles per hour here in town, sustained, so probably gusting near 20 miles per hour. Seeing that in Millinocket, sustained winds around 16 miles per hour in Holton, so it is a windy day up north as well. But all across the state, all those northwest winds are bringing in the cool, dry air and probably going to calm down going into tonight. But as we can see on the radar, we can see just clear skies, a little bit of cloud cover up north, so high pressure is settling in right now. But within the next few days, we're expecting some more rain on the way. So going into tomorrow, mostly sunny throughout the day, but then we do have that increasing cloud cover right around that afternoon to evening hour, showing this at 5:30 tomorrow afternoon. And as we continue on into the night, we do have that rain making its way into the area, especially around the center of the state, all the way to the coastal areas. We're going to see lots of rain dropping. That's where that yellow is, where that heaviest part is. So that will be seen in Bangor right around 4 o'clock in the morning. And then those clouds will still be mostly cloudy going into the morning as well. But for tonight, right around 20 degrees is going to be the low. Mostly clear skies. We'll have areas of dense ice fog for tonight with those calm winds. And going into tomorrow, high of 51 degrees, mostly sunny skies out there. Winds are going to be from the south, very light, right around 5 miles per hour. As we take a look at our extended forecast, we can see going into Wednesday, we do have that rain chance back in the forecast, but 70s for Halloween. Going to be a great day to get out and go trick-or-treating. And then Friday and Saturday, temperatures do decline right around 50 degrees on Saturday. Devin?
Thanks, Chase. More to come right after the break.
Hell, I'd like to kick back.
Skip work, just like no show.
No show, Austin Terrio.
But I can't, because when Terrio did show up, he voted against lowering my prescription costs.
Now Terrio's running for Congress, bankrolled by the Project 2025 crowd, whose plan lets drug makers charge whatever they want.
And threatens to privatize Medicare.
Shows me all I need to know about Terrio. HMP is responsible for the content of this ad.
Here at Twin City Tire and Service, you will be working with industry professionals. We have ASE certified master technicians and certified tire and lube technicians. If we need your vehicle for a duration of time, we offer a complimentary shuttle service and can even offer a loaner vehicle. Being a client at Twin City Tire and Service means that we will treat you right. This includes a 3-year, 36,000-mile warranty on mechanical repairs. We also provide you with 1 year of complimentary roadside assistance. Come see us today at Twin City Tire and Service in Brewer.
As a working mom with 2 little kids, it's hard when Jared leaves every week to go to Washington.
Oh, my daddy likes to help you.
That's why he joined the Marines after 9/11. Jared will keep us safe. He knows what matters to Maine families.
He wants to put more money in your piggy bank.
He's protecting Maine jobs and lowering healthcare costs for seniors and families.
I'm Jared Golden, and I approve this message, because the things that matter most to your family matter most to our family too.
What do I like about Joe Baldacci? Well, the man's Italian, first off, so what's not to like? But more importantly, Joe is community focused and independently minded, and Joe gets things done, whether it's for seniors or young people or young families. He was named Legislator of the Year by the Maine Council on Aging for his work to protect seniors and their health care in many important ways. He represents Bangor and Herman well, because to Joe, everyone matters.
Paid for and authorized by the Joe Baldacci for State Senate Committee, Eugene Sullivan, Treasurer.
Welcome back. There's been a change of command at the Margaret Chase Smith Library in Skowhegan. After 12 years, Dr. David Richards will be stepping down, and moving into that director position will be Dr. Chris O'Brien. Our Doug Banks sat down for a conversation with the new director.
She was this fundamentally important person in the history of Maine and in all sorts of ways in the history of the United States.
These photos, medals, mementos are all moments engraved in time. Margaret Chase Smith in her library eternalized perseverance and hope.
That drive, that ambition followed her throughout her life.
In September, Dr. Chris O'Brien, a former University of Maine of Farmington history professor and former director of the Theodore Roosevelt Center, began his tenure as director of the Margaret Chase Smith Library after Dr. David Richards retired from his post after 12 years. O'Brien describes this Skowhegan Library as a perpetual work of art.
The good news about a museum is that what we're hiding in the basement is way more than we could ever show up here. So things will always change. There's always something new to bring up.
On Monday night, a hail and farewell event will be held to thank Dr. Richards and welcome Dr. O'Brien.
It is an event that thanks him and says welcome to me as well, I suppose, but that's less important to me than to recognize the legacy of all of the good work that he did.
O'Brien says he'll continue to follow the moral compass set by the woman whose library was built outside her very own front door.
One of the most important things that I think that she did when she agreed to the building of the library and museum was to say that it must be nonpartisan. It must be above the partisan fray. So we remain that way. It is incredibly important to us that everybody is welcome here. She saw that as inviting people into her home, and we try to carry that forward.
In Skowhegan, Doug Banks, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
For those who are feeling brave tonight, a restaurant in Ellsworth is holding an eating challenge that aims to push the boundaries of the Scoville scale. The Provender Kitchen and Bar has been holding what they call Hell Night for 6 years now. Participants are challenged to make it through 9 different dishes with various ranges of spice. This year's theme takes a spicy twist on some classic Mexican dishes.
You know, I really love Hell Night because it's a chance for us to be creative in the kitchen. We change the theme every year. We get different peppers coming in, different levels of heat, different courses, dessert courses, appetizers. So it's a lot of fun, and everybody seems to love it. So as long as people are enjoying it, we'll still keep doing it.
The event is from 4 to 8 tonight. The owner is anticipating well over 100 people. Anyone who did not sign up beforehand is encouraged to call the restaurant to see if any spots open up. Well, an Appleton resident is uncovering a new art form. Our Jody Hersey shows us how this artist works to unravel the beauty of worn fishing equipment into colorful pieces of wall art.
Eric Darling is hard at work in his garage in Appleton, creating a new piece of art using discarded lobster rope.
I didn't think moving to an area would influence my art until it happened.
For 30 years, Darling's art consisted of oil paintings and photography. When he moved to Maine, he found a new medium when he came across an abundant supply of used rope along Maine's coast.
So I just keep gathering as much as I can. And in the process, I've realized how much is going into our landfills. And so my mission statement was to draw awareness to the rope as an art medium and hopefully keep as much out of the waste stream as possible.
So Darling started what he calls his Drift Rope Project. He begins by organizing his stash of rope by color. Next, he makes a sketch before turning his drawing into a one-of-a-kind piece.
But it tends to evolve as I go, just because of the nature of the rope and how thick the lines are.
Darling's work is available in Knox County, and now folks in Penobscot County will get to see it for themselves during the Maine Harvest Festival here at the Cross Insurance Center in Bangor in November.
It really has been like an art with a mission to keep recycling and reusing.
Turning trash into treasure, one rope at a time. In Appleton, I'm Jody Hersey for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
No, what an excellent form of art. That's so cool. And it's great that they're upscaling used fishing equipment. So just reduce, reuse, and recycle. That does it for us tonight here at ABC 7. We hope you have a great rest of your evening. But for more of your local news, join us on Fox 22 News Tonight at 6:30.
Jared Golden reversed his position on gun control. Golden flipped.
Golden now supports a ban on the most commonly held rifle in the U.S. Jared Golden is not one of us. The NRCC is responsible for the content of his advertising.
To the car?
I do.
I'd like to see it.
Used to be nice. This is what it looks like now.
Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $3,000. We're finished. Thank you.
Step out. Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
My opinion's the only one that counts.
Before I hit it, all I could think of was...
I was concerned about him first, but yes.
Is this, like, am I gonna die, or am I going to be okay, or...
He was a pretty big man, so...
When the paramedics got on the scene, they spent like 20 minutes or so.
I thought, well, better go see if there's any damage. And
looking at me and analyzing, like, the damage that I did to my body.
There was a lot.
And then they strapped me to a gurney and took me over to the Sacred Heart Hospital in Spokane.
Slow down on your skateboard and have control. He used my Bronco for a brake.
I'm glad it's over with. I think that this is the best way it could get worked out.
Coming up, jury selection has begun in the case of Roland Flood, a man accused of killing his roommate. Plus, NATO confirms thousands of North Korean troops are fighting alongside Russia's military against Ukraine. And we'll sit down with AARP to talk about voter engagement. Those stories and more just ahead.
This is Fox 22 News Tonight.
The jury selection process has begun for the murder trial of a Madison man accused of killing his former roommate. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Devin Dagnall. 62-year-old Roland Flood is charged with the murder for the death of 57-year-old Mark Trabue of Anson. Trabue was found dead with multiple stab wounds at a Madison cemetery back in July of last year. Today's jury questionnaire process is the first step in the jury selection process. Opening statements are expected to begin at Somerset County